Yes, guys, we are back with another book review, this time Trading in the Zone. Before getting into this book, let me give you a bit of insight about like my history with trading, like how I got into trading, when I started trading, how my experience of trading has been prior to reading Trading in the Zone. Firstly, if I had to say like regarding trading, and I mean intraday trading or holding positions less than a week, yeah, it would have to have been around October in 2021. I had an account with KuCoin. Yeah, pretty much I was like buying and selling. But to be honest, guys, like I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing at all. Like I remember my strategy. This was simply my strategy, yeah. I would look at the top gainers of the crypto market, right, on KuCoin, and then all I would do is I'll literally short it. The top gainers, I'm talking gains of probably like more than 100%, whatever, I was short it, right? You know what cooked? So I blew my account, like long story short, with that strategy, right? And that was with looping. I don't know the time duration of how long it took, but yeah, I was probably doing it like every week. But then the day came where I must have put shorts on looping, and yeah, I was shorting it and it wasn't going. And imagine I'm full margin sales, yeah, so it wasn't going down. Yeah, at this time I didn't know anything, like I didn't have stop loss, nothing. I lost all of the money that was in the crypto account. In terms of trading, it was gone. Fast forward, I said, oh yeah, no, hold on, I said, okay, I'm done with crypto, yeah. So then yeah, time's moving forward. So now we're in 2022, right? Now 2022, I don't know how, but I got back into it again. I got back into crypto again. And this time I was trading futures. So if you're not familiar with KuCoin, they have this. I'm not gonna lie, like, if you know what you're doing, yeah, KuCoin, in terms of like how you trade the futures on KuCoin, is very good, right? But if you don't know what you're doing, you'll get cooked. I had money in the account. Somehow, yeah, I was full margining. And imagine the margin is crazy. So not as crazy as what I'm experiencing now, right? But I think it was like 125 leverage for like Bitcoin futures. So I must have turned $200 into $1,000. My mind was blown. I was like, oh my god, this is sick. Next thing you know, I remember this to the detail, yeah. After I've gotten out the shower, I'm saying to myself, oh, should I get into a position, whatever, like while I'm getting ready, whatever. Guys, I opened the position, full margin. But you see the $1,000 that I accumulated, guys, it left my account fast. Like under a minute. It left the account in under a minute. I was hurt. I was so hurt. Like I remember I had to work that day. I was talking with the Uber driver and I was just telling him, yo, like I'm so hurt. But let me tell you something that kept me going, yeah? Because at first, like, I really felt it. But then after I started to realize, like, yo, hold on. I'm here crying about $1,000, right? But there's rich people out there, yeah? Like billionaires, millionaires, right? They lose much more, right? And they still manage to find a way to keep going. I have to implement that mentality too, right? So then literally after I had that realization, I was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Let's move on. After that, now we're talking probably, this is where it starts to get a bit tricky, yeah? So I don't know if it was either August or September. This is when I've finally opened an account with a broker called Capital. They're like regulated in the UK. It's like 1-30 leverage on like Forex and stuff. Bearing in mind, I don't even know about all of this stuff like at the time. I don't know what I started off trading, but just to summarize, when I first opened the account, I got into trading stocks. One of my tactics with the stock market was literally when I see that the market closes like very bullish, I'll short the stock market, and then and I'm talking like when the stocks have like a 5% gain, whatever, or like 8%, 10%, whatever. And then what I'll do is when the market opens, I'll short the market. And yes, a full margin, no stop loss. You know what I'm saying? It's mad. And yeah, I was doing that, and then I was also trading the British pound against the US dollar. And then after that, I remember getting into one position on the Dow Jones. Yeah, I think I was in shorts. It was crazy because I was always checking the phone. I was fiending. I can't. It was peak. I was fiending. So yeah. Anyways, like I just got more and more attracted to it. And then yeah, 2023 came. And literally, we're talking like January 2023. Well, I suppose prior to January, like literally December 2022, around the end of like near towards the end of the month, like I said to myself, you know what, like I'm actually gonna try to do this trading thing. Like I want to do it, you know. Yes, bearing in mind I still didn't know what the hell I'm doing, you know. Yeah, got into it, was watching videos on YouTube. So yeah, January's come now, and then I've just started trading. I'm trading British pound against US dollar. I've said, okay, I'm gonna stick to this pair, and it's peak because I've done some bad stuff with the British pound against the US dollar. And I say that because there was a period where I was holding like £400 worth of like drawdown. It was peak. I was not closing the position. Like I didn't accept the fact that I was in a losing trade, you know? Like I could have closed the position, be free. I could have freed myself, but like I was just stuck in it, you know? Anyways, February came. I said, okay, I was trying to look for a better pair. I came across gold, and then man, I just started trading gold. Long story short, like 2023, I was pretty much just gambling. It got to the point where like I lost all of my savings, all of the profits I made. I lost it. Like it was peak. And then yeah, 2024 came. I guess you could say I was trying to like not revenge trade, but like I was chasing something that in reality it wasn't there, you know. In May 2024, I said to myself, yo, if I want to take trading seriously, I have to trade with like £100. Lowest lot size, I have to learn the markets, you know. Slowly, like, okay, the first time I put the £100, I lost the whole account. And then yeah, I was still blowing the accounts. But then September came. Yeah, I tried again, but then it finally clicked, you know. As months went by from September, I started to learn, okay, this means that in trading, I need to have a systematic approach, you know. But before it was all emotional, I think. Like if I was looking before, like yeah, everything was like mostly emotional. Like there was nothing strategic about how I was trading. There, get to obviously 2024, probably like November, December, and to realize like, you need to have a systematic approach. You know, you need to be systematic with your risk. You need to be systematic with your entries. You need to be systematic with how you look at the markets, or how you enter the markets, you know. It all clicked. Now 2025's came, and bearing in mind I still haven't read the book. Yeah, I've come across it, like people have spoken about the book, but like I've just never gotten down to like saying, okay, let me read it. Yeah, I'm still trying to implement this whole like systematic approach, you know. Now I do want to make one thing clear. Yeah, during this time, it's like you'll learn things, but then it's like no matter what, you have to keep forcing yourself to do the things you learn. Otherwise, you're not really learning. Or I don't really want to say it takes a while for the bad habits to go away, because at the end of the day, it's up to you if you want the bad habits to stay or go, right? 2025, like December, January, February, this time I was getting a bit impatient. Yeah, I was getting very impatient. I wanted to make money. You know, I knew that I have to have a systematic approach, but at the same time, like I was thinking, I can't be trading with £100 account. I need more money, you know. And you know the worst part, yeah, is that I genuinely think that if you wanted to, you can really scale a £100 account, you know. It's possible, it's doable, you know. I done it in September, right? I managed to like make £100 frequently. I was withdrawing £100, you know. But yeah, was I being systematic? Sometimes no, you know. But it's possible, you know. February, and then yeah, March came. Now March is probably when I had like a kind of like reality check. The main thing is that yeah, so December to February, I was like, whenever I'm in the markets, I was always trying to like scale the account. Like I wasn't focused on like the next trade, or if I'm in a losing trade, etc. But then again, like I normally just get stopped out, but I'll just try to re-enter the positions, you know. Since September, I don't hesitate to put stop losses now. Like now, I know that if I don't put a stop loss, I'm choosing not to put the stop loss. You understand? But before, like I wouldn't know where to put the stop loss. I wouldn't know why I'm putting the stop loss, etc. If that makes sense. But at least like now I know why I'm doing it, you know, or I know why I'm not doing it, if that makes sense. After February, I'm trying to think my experience. Look, the only thing I can say is that like the more time I put in, and the more whenever I focus less about the money, the more results I would receive, whether that's like mentally, maybe performance wise, you know. Like the track record will explain for itself, you know. But then the moment I start to think about the money, and start to think about scaling the account, or start to get emotional, blah blah blah, like I noticed, okay, damn, now there's the issue. So I started reading this book, if I'm not mistaken. I started reading this book in July or August, you know. Before reading this book, I would say that the things that average traders, retail traders do, I knew I shouldn't do. You know, I got that already, about having to be emotionless, you know, being systematic, you know, not thinking about the money, right? Obviously, like I said, the bad habits are still there, you know, but it's just about you choosing whether to do it or not, right? So I started reading this book. Let's get into the book. The explanation could be very, very, very long. I'm going to try to keep it simple and try not to spoil it as much as I can. First of all, I just want to say that Mark Douglas deserves a reward for writing this book. I mean, he's probably got a few awards already for writing this book. This book explains so much about not just trading, but I think just life in general. One thing that's hit me hard, I guess you could say this month, is obviously that the difference between a reality and illusion, you know. If you haven't seen my vlog, I mentioned it. I think it's season 2, episode 5. Literally the last chapter, he speaks on how the illusion is what destroys traders. When you get lost in the illusion, you know, you start to maybe over risk, over trade. You start to hesitate on positions, rush into positions, FOMO, you know, and maybe you start to get greedy. All this stuff, like stuff that's not real, you know. And instead you should be trying to putting yourself in a position where you don't care about what the market does, you know. You just wanna follow the markets and make sure that your account stays safe so that you can participate in the market for the next day. Because this book is so great and it's taught me so much. Bearing in mind, yeah, if you watch the episodes from starting from the bottom, like a majority of them, I'll be giving you the gems about like what's in the book if you don't want to read it, right? So you watch the episodes if you don't want to read it, but you better read it because this is the one. Last thing for the traders, I can get into like how this kind of goes around, how this can kind of impact like life as well, you know, not just trading. One thing he mentions as well about like trading is that we shouldn't predict the market, you know. Let the market do what it wants to do, right? Just follow what the market tells you. If the market says it's going up, it's going up, buy. If the market says it's going down, it's going down, sell, you know. Simple as that. Don't try to be the hero. One more gem. The last gem from the markets is this for the traders, yeah. Don't expect nothing. Literally don't expect nothing, man. For me, if I approach the markets not expecting anything, like literally just trading what I saw and just respecting the candlesticks for what they printed, yeah, I would definitely be in a much more healthier mind state, you know. And then also like saying that, it's crazy because when I speak to you about like building systems, right, like all it is just, for example, you just build systems around, for example, if you're not sure about like how candlesticks are closing, you can just try to build systems that will make you say, okay, if this candle doesn't close convincing me that we're going to continue to push up and I'm in buys already, yeah, you could either break even or you could decrease your stop loss, you know, making so that you can lose less money than you was originally intended, or you can keep the stop loss the same, or you can say, you know what, if we don't get a sort of reaction in the next few hours, maybe I'm going to close the position, you know. But one thing we can't do is expect anything from the markets. Yeah, to be quite frank with you, I mean, that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, like, and this is after reading the book. Like, I've fully accepted now that you cannot you cannot expect anything from the market. It doesn't matter if you're in a high probability trade or a low probability trade. At the end of the day, you can still lose a trade, right? Every time you press the buy button or the sell button, you don't know if you're gonna win. Don't expect to win. Don't expect to lose. Mark Douglas says that exactly. I'm just reiterating it because, like, man, I couldn't believe it, because this is something you might experience, yeah, where you think to yourself, oh, I got it now, you know, I shouldn't be trying to expect anything from the markets. But then you enter a position now and it's like, okay, you're expecting. You understand? And this is something that has happened with me. It might have happened with you. Just stay wary of that. How I would say it relates to life as well is that Mark Douglas, he speaks on things about, for example, fear, right? And I think even the things that I've mentioned about illusion and reality, it can relate to real life as well, outside of trading. Focusing on dealing with making decisions based off of the reality, what's in front of us, what we see, you know, and the rest will take care of itself. If you try to get into the illusion, or if you don't make decisions based off of what you're actually seeing and just what's off in your head, or if you're expecting too much from someone or expecting too little from someone, I mean, all it does is just, from my experience, it doesn't make me feel good, you know. And I'm trying to think of other things. So he speaks on how we shouldn't have any fear. You know, we should just accept what happens, you know, accept the reality, right? I don't know if I gave a good explanation on what I think of the book. I hope my enthusiasm I hope my enthusiasm sold it enough to you. But trading in the zone. Look, I mean, for me personally, like, I need to read this regularly, because do you know what it is? Yeah, it's the fact that prior reading this book, I had brief knowledge, right, on trading. Yeah, to read this and to have, I guess you could say, the confirmations that I was looking for, it gave me hope, you know. It made me realize, like, wow, I'm on the right path. I'm onto something here. It made me realize that, like, I'm not just shooting blindly, you know, like, I'm onto something. So I respect this book highly. I appreciate this book highly. And I'm very grateful to have read this book. I'm gonna leave the link to where you can find this book in the description. And then, yeah, you guys let me know what you think after you've read the book, or when you started reading the book. And I'll be open to receive some messages and maybe have like a discussion or something about the book. If I had to say one mission that I'm currently on to after reading the book, no, actually no, I probably have to tell you, like, let's see how many missions. I don't know how many missions. Let's see. One thing I would like to do is emotionally detach from money, for sure. I mean, I've been working on that prior reading the book. That's the first thing. The second thing, I want to focus on removing myself from the illusion and putting myself deep into the reality, you know, fighting in the real world, making decisions based off of what I see. After reading this book, for me, objectively, now my main focus is to emotionally detach from money, which I've been doing already, but it's just like, now it's like on double time, you know. The second thing is to make sure that I stay away from the illusion and focus on the reality. The third thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I have a systematic approach for everything inside of trading. And then lastly, I want to be able to accept risk, you know. Like, I want to be able to get myself to a point where, like, it's okay for me to see, like, £400 gone. I mean, I'm already over it now, you know. Like, I think I was trading a lot of one lots a month ago, you know. I think it's just emotionally detaching from money. Like, that's it. So yeah, I would say these three things. So emotionally detach from money, focus on the reality, stay away from illusion, and lastly, systematic approach with everything in trading, you know. And then the rest will take care of itself. So yeah, guys, I'm sorry if the video was short or too long. This book will change your life, trader or not. Yeah, this book is a game changer. Okay, last thing quickly. Yeah, I think life is based off of probabilities. You know, when I think about life, yeah, it's a game, innit? It's a game of probabilities, isn't it? Right? Not only is it a game of probabilities, you really have to be, you can't be precise with your decisions, but you just have to try and then learn, you know. In life, you don't know what the outcome is going to be, you know. I've still got a lot to learn about the reality and the illusion, but I genuinely think that life is a game based off of probabilities. We have to play the game right, guys. It's like that. I'm not gonna lie, it is like that. Thank you for watching. If you have any feedback on maybe how I can review the book better, because I know this wasn't how I was expecting it to go. But yeah, just let me know what you think I could have done better, what more you would have liked to have heard about the book. Make sure you check out the Starting from the Bottom series. Next book review coming soon. Thank you very much, and see you next time.